But today I thought I would talk about the skin. Why? Because the skin is the biggest organ that you have on your body. And I know some people will be like, the skin as an organ. How? The skin is an organ. Just like the organs inside your body, although this is an organ that's outside your body. And it has several very important functions, this organ called the skin. So I've got a graphic as usual. I do pictures. I will show you the different layers of the skin. Now, please, the writing is going to be squonk. I'm sorry, I don't know what to do about that. But basically, this is what your skin looks like, right? So if somebody were to come and say, cut you this way, this is what the layer of what we call your skin would look like, right? So maybe I should put this back a little bit. There. So you basically have a layer that is called the epidermis, which is this layer here. This pink layer here. It's got some, these are called sebaceous glands. These things, the yellow things are fat, like fatty tissue. And there it is, that's that layer. Then you've got the next layer, which I think is, I can't see it from here. I think it's the dermis. The dermis is this layer here. This layer here, this pink layer here. And then you've got, down here, you've got the fatty layer, the sebaceous tissue, right? So, that is your skin. So when you're looking at the surface of your skin, it's composed of 3 layers. Starting with this top layer, the top layer, this is the barrier, but it extends down, right? A little further down. In there, this is where you find, for example, you're going to find nerves, but your nerves come from way down there, but your nerves end here. That's why your skin has feeling, right? It's a sensory organ. Remember I said that your skin is an organ. So one of the functions of the skin is that it's a sensory organ, right? Now, we also know that different parts of the body have different types of skin. The skin that is on your arm has some hair follicles. There's some hair follicles there. And I circled this over here because actually this is a very important part of the hair follicle because you notice that there's blood flow to this part, right? We're going to talk about that when we talk about hair relaxers and we talk about how is it that a hair relaxer put on your head can cause uterine cancer. That is the clue right here. Now you can imagine this is the follicles on your skin. There's not a lot of hair, but under your arms, you've got a lot of hair. And on your head, there are more hair follicles. Your hands don't have hair follicles. Your feet don't have hair follicles. What does this mean? There are sort of adaptations or variations to the epidermis of the skin based on the function of a body part, right? So that's another thing. So your skin, you notice, your skin has, where are the sweat glands? There's a sweat gland somewhere. Here it is, right? Your skin has some sweat glands, right? But you also know that under your arms, you're going to have more sweat glands. And in other areas that are hairy, you're going to have more sweat glands, right? This is important to understand because all these areas, so there's your sweat gland here, but then remember that your sweat gland will also be connected to a blood supply. So this is also when we talk about different deodorants and the chemicals that you find in deodorants that you put under your arms. How are they getting into your bloodstream to go to your head where they are going to be causing brain tumors, right? So let's talk a little bit about these functions of the skin. So number one, we said it is a sensory organ, right? It's got nerves, so you can feel touch, you can feel heat. Basically, your skin is what protects you also from the external environment. So for example, the first thing that'll happen when you burn yourself is that sensory sensation that is in your skin is picked up by the nerves and sent to your brain to tell you that you're about to burn yourself or you've burnt yourself, move your hand. That's one of the ways in which the skin protects you from the outside environment. If it's cold, the skin picks up that it's cold. It registered throughout the rest of your body and your brain knows that it's cold and you know to go and get some warm clothes on so you don't suffer from hypothermia. The reverse is true. When it's hot, your skin under your arms, your skin sometimes even on your head, you will start to sweat. You'll start to feel uncomfortable because your skin is picking up and signaling to you that it's hot. So you're going to get out of hot clothes into something cooler. Am I making sense? So number one, that's a very important job, is as a sensory organ. The second part is it regulates body temperature. Again, it regulates body temperature. How? With all these nerves that are there. And in different parts of the body, so on your skin, yeah, you have some sensory nerves, but under your armpits, in your groin area, these are the places that are specialized in the regulation of body temperature. That's why when it's hot, you sweat. Because basically what happens is when it's hot and your body registers that it's hot, your blood vessels dilate. When your blood vessels dilate, they move closer and closer to the skin, and then moisture is released. The moisture is released to do what? To cool down your body. That's the main purpose of sweating, is to actually bring the body temperature down, right? So that's the second thing, to regulate body temperature. It stores water and fat. Why does it store water? Go figure, we've just said, so that you're able to sweat when it's hot. Not only that, it stores water so that your skin is nice and plump. It's part of a healthy skin is to be hydrated, right? To have water in it. When you're dehydrated, one of the first things that you notice, I don't know if you notice it, if you're conscious, is that your skin gets very dry. You know, you might even start to see wrinkles where you don't normally see wrinkles because there isn't enough moisture in your body, and therefore it shows in your skin. So a lot of people know they're dehydrated, not necessarily even because they are thirsty, because thirst is not a sign of dehydration. By the time you get thirsty, you are really totally dehydrated. So dehydration just means the level of water that's in your body has reached below its optimum point, and you can see it in the skin, right? It also prevents water loss, right? Imagine if you didn't have this barrier of skin and your muscles, or your muscles and your organs were all hanging out. They don't have the capacity to prevent water loss. So you would just kind of shrivel up. The visual is not very nice. But yeah, you would just kind of like become a fossil immediately, like just shrivel up. So silly. Okay, the skin is also a barrier to the entry of bacteria. But we also know, for example, that when the skin is compromised, so for example, hair follicles can get infected, right? The infection goes here. So if this hair follicle gets infected at the base, what happens? The bacteria can make their way into the bloodstream. So yes, the skin is supposed to be a barrier to the entry of bacteria, but where the skin is compromised, and we compromise our skin in various ways. Where are the shavists? Where are the under? Where are the underarm shavists? Yo, people and shaving underarms and shaving the groin area, and then you get ingrown hairs, and then before you know it, boom, there is an infection, and before you know it, fever spikes. So I'm just saying, you know, some of the kind of Western things that we have adopted, and the reason I'm smiling is because I'm guilty as charged. But there are consequences to us adopting some of these unnatural practices, which is that we compromise the integrity of the skin, and yes, you can get an infection. So, what else? It helps vitamin D. Now, we all know people will tell you vitamin D is very important. Yes, actually it is. And vitamin D is manufactured in the skin. Where? Here. See if I can find where in the skin. Actually, vitamin D is manufactured in the epidermis right here. What is the importance? And then once it's manufactured, of course, it goes into the bloodstream. Why is vitamin D important? Vitamin D is important because, number one, it is absolutely essential for the absorption of calcium in your body. So, for example, you can eat all the dairy products, all the craziness you like. You can take all the calcium supplements. But if you're not producing enough vitamin D, you will still be calcium deficient. You will still have weak bones. You will still have weak teeth, and so on and so on. So vitamin D, calcium work in tandem. You cannot absorb calcium, even if you have it in your bloodstream, in the absence of vitamin D. So it's very important for that. Out here in the West, you find that because of winter, we don't get a lot of sun. I guess you can tell. And what that means is my vitamin D is probably very, very low. And most times we have to supplement with vitamin D because you get exhausted when you don't have sufficient vitamin D levels in your body, because it's also very essential for energy production, right? So we'll talk about that on another live when we decide to talk about the vitamins. But your skin's thickness, the texture of your skin, depends on what part of your body is at. So, comes to the point of this whole life, you need to take care of your skin. You need to understand that your skin is living and it is breathing. You need to understand that your skin is porous, meaning these little holes, not just these where your follicles are, but the very surface of the skin is porous and takes in things. Why is this important? I really wanted to do this live because recently I've been seeing a lot of class action lawsuits, especially out here in the US, of groups of women, especially women of color, who are suing certain companies for putting chemicals in hair relaxers and chemicals in skin products that are known cancer-causing agent. So these companies did it with the full knowledge that these products that they are creating for women of color cause cancer, right? I'll post some of the information up. I think I have a video on Kanyezi, because I've kind of done, not this topic on skin, but I've done a topic on hair, where I talk about hair relaxers and the fact that there are women now who are dying. There are some who are having hysterectomies. There are some who, it's a mess. And so there is this class action lawsuit, and I'm talking thousands of women who are suing these companies for knowingly putting chemicals or using chemicals in hair products for Black women, basically, that they knew were toxic. So, because your skin is porous and because your skin is so important, it's also very important because, remember, it's supposed to protect you from the external environment. This is your shield. This is your biggest organ. However, we are putting things on our skin, like directly on our skin, and they are getting absorbed into the bloodstream, and they are traveling to other parts of the body, namely the liver, the brain, the breasts, the uterus, the fallopian tubes, and they are causing cancer. I'm speaking of the female reproductive tract, not to exclude the male, but simply because that's the reproductive tract that I have. That's the one I'm most familiar with. So guys, you are not, if there are any guys on this live, you're not exempt or immune from any of this, especially if you, and you know, like for things like lotions and creams, it's mostly women using them. Guys, if you are not putting lotion and cream, it's so unsexy. Please, nobody likes ashy people. So please put some cream on you. And don't use this live as an excuse not to. Someone is laughing. Am I lying? Am I lying? Have you seen ashy? Somebody looks like a donkey that's just been buka-buka-ring in some ash somewhere. Ah, ngeke. Whoa, put some lotion, put some cream on. Yeah. Anyway, So I wanted to tell you some of these ingredients because I want you guys to become conscious when you are purchasing your beauty products. Become conscious of what it is you're doing. Many of you, you will fall in love with one product. I'm the same. If I like something and it seems to work for me, I will use that same thing for 20 years and I will not change. Now imagine that you're using this same product or cream or lotion for 20 years religiously, morning and evening, and during the day when your hands are dry and you are putting things on. And all that is happening is your body is absorbing. Your skin absorbs all this. It's going into your body and it's going wherever it is. And if it's a carcinogen, carcinogens cause cancer. Hey, I just did something there. Carcinogens cause cancer. Wow, that's how smart I am. It just happened. So carcinogens cause cancer, guys. Anything that you see is carcinogenic is going to cause cancer. How does it cause cancer? It attacks the cells. It attacks the DNA in the cells so that these cells start multiplying with what I would call I was going to say aberrant, and I'm like, yeah, break it down. It's so your DNA, if it's broken, or usually it's broken, right? Something is missing. This cell will grow, and it'll grow, and because it is a cell that is damaged, that is now growing uncontrollably. It grows too very aggressively at a rapid rate. And then once it gets to a certain size, some of these cells start coming off that main tumor or body into your bloodstream and where? To other parts of your body. That is metastatic cancer. When people say, oh, the cancer metastasized, they're basically saying, no, it started out as a breast cancer, but now it's in the liver, and now it's in the brain, and now it's in the spine. By that stage, it's game over. You are now a terminal patient. So you imagine the years and years of putting things like parabens. Parabens are highly toxic chemicals that have no business in skin products, but you go to any store right now, go and pick up 5 different skin products like lotions. Take a look at them, and parabens is going for sure to be on those products. Another one is artificial fragrances and perfumes. Anything that is not close to nature, anything that is manufactured in a laboratory, it doesn't have any place in the human body, right? Remember, Tina, 9 ether beings, our only salvation is to stay as close to nature as is possible in the things we eat, in the things we consume as in seed, whatever, in the things that we put on our body, in the things that we put, like things that we use to brush our teeth. Everything has to be as close to nature as possible. Because not only are our bodies very different from the others, that is perhaps why a lot of these cancers are more aggressive in us than in other people. Neutrogena, for example, is a company. Why is it that when a black woman uses certain Neutrogena products, say with parabens, etc., there's a more likelihood or high risk that she gets cancer than her white counterpart? Yeah, your cocoa butter cream is not even cocoa butter, Ceci. If you give me the name, I'll be able to tell you. It is very rare because cocoa butter is quite pricey, yes, as is shea butter. So it is very rare that you will find. What they normally do is they have petroleum jelly, which is another nonsense. Hey, where are the Vaseline people? Grew up putting Vaseline. That was your go-to, Vaseline, petroleum. Any petroleum product, anything with the word petrol in it. Petrol. Petrol. Yazi petrol. Yeah. And now you are putting on your skin, right? There is a chemical called toluene. It has a very sweet smell. We used to use it in the lab its friend is formaldehyde. Those of you who've ever done biology, chemistry, you know this from the labs. We used to use formaldehyde to store our dissected animals. So if we dissected a rat and we took out its heart, we would store it for years and years in formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is the chemical that is used, you know, that sweetish chemical, that sweet smelling. It's what is used to fix corpses in the morgue. They are putting it in your skin products. They are putting it in your baby's skin products. Go and look, all baby lotion, baby cream, this. Go and look at the ingredients. And you will find either formaldehyde, actually Johnson & Johnson, I'm going to say it here because it's in the papers. Johnson & Johnson's baby lotion has formaldehyde. So, and I know that people on the African continent are the last to get this information. But people here get it quickly and the company gets sued and then there are class action lawsuits. But yes, imagine putting a chemical as toxic as formaldehyde in baby lotion. Right? There are things called phthalates. Do you guys know mothballs? You know those mothballs? My grandma used to put them in her clothes and they smell so nice. Toxic chemical. Those are phthalates. You'll find a lot of those in your creams as well. Then there's one called PEG, polyethylene glycol. Polyethylene glycol. That is another one. This one is put in these things because it's supposed to smooth your skin out, but it's actually smoothing your skin out by destroying your skin cells. Right? Be careful. Then there is, I've said formaldehyde. Then there's another one called oxybenzone. Anything with benzene, petrol, benzene. Anytime you see anything with benzoyl chloride, benzoyl, this, just know poison. Those of you who did organic chemistry will know this too. So here is a plug. I'm going to tell you. I make shea butter. Shea butter is from the shea tree. If you look on this page, you will see I've talked about shea butter. It's from the shea tree. There is shea butter. Shea butter is all natural. It's an all natural product. It has 0 chemicals in it. The only thing that I've put in here is sandalwood. And it's an essential oil, sandalwood. So it's literally natural. That is what this is perfumed with. That is it. Here's cocoa butter. I want you to watch something, right? I hope you can see. I'm going to rub it on my hands and I want to rub it on my skin like this. Right? I don't know if you can, yeah, that's better. Right, there we go. So what's happening? As you rub, the skin absorbs, right? The skin literally drinks this stuff in. Why is this stuff so amazing? If you look, I've put up the benefits of shea butter. So not only are you making your skin less ashy, you're actually doing amazing things for your skin, not just the surface layer, but the entire layers underneath. I love this stuff. By the way, you can use this same thing on your hair. Because remember, under your hair is skin. Very porous skin. So, why I said a plug? By the way, you can get this from Great Empire of Kemet. If you're interested, you guys know my number, 734-274-0664. You can definitely get it to you when you, just message me and I'll make sure that you get some. So, why am I saying this? Because guys, we are already under attack through so many ways, right? We are under attack through so many different ways. Our food systems are toxic, right? Our drinking water is toxic. Our toothpaste is toxic. Our roll-on is toxic. Our body creams are toxic. The air we breathe is toxic. At some point, we have to start doing things to assist our bodies. Because it's not our fault. But I like doing this because I think when people really become conscious, some of you love Nivea. Go and look at the back of your Nivea jar and see what is in there. Whenever you buy something, for example, your cocoa butter, I'm talking to Modeline, right? If your cocoa butter was pure cocoa butter, why doesn't it just say cocoa butter 100%? What are the 15 other products that come behind the cocoa butter? Right? Cocoa butter in its purest form is amazing, just like this in its purest form. Go to a store and buy something that says shea butter from one of the popular brands, say Vaseline or Johnson & Johnson actually. Why will it say shea butter and then it's got a list this long of other things in it? Why didn't I just get the shea butter without addition of anything else? I'm always saying to people, you need to be so careful. So for example, a lot of the things that they're adding in creams and everything is to give it a longer shelf life, right? They're going to put it on the shelf for 10 years so that it doesn't degrade. So lots of preservatives that they're putting there. But a lot of these other agents that they're putting there in these things, for example, if you're a company and you're trying to make a bunch of money, you're not going to make a tub of pure shea butter to give to someone. Or you can, but then you'll have to up the price so much. And if your target market can't meet that price, then you're not really going to make any money. Right? I'm talking capitalism here. So what do? If you can manufacture in a lab something that smells like shea butter, feels like shea butter, and then tack it with a whole bunch of other chemicals, then you can bottle it and you can call it so-and-so's shea butter. You're not going to say 100% because then you might get caught, but you'll just call it shea butter. The assumption in the marketplace is, oh, shea butter. You're not thinking that, wait a minute, this thing didn't say 100%, so what am I doing here? So I want you guys to be smart shoppers even when you're out there and buying stuff and things for yourselves. Understand that a lot of, just use your common sense, right? Like I've said to you, for us 9 ether beings, the closer we stay to nature, the safer we are. So when you're reading all these chemical names, if you can't pronounce it, it's not close to nature. Just use that rule. If you can't pronounce it, not close to nature, not natural. We're natural people. Right? So I've talked a little bit about skin. Does anyone have any questions? Let me see if I've got some questions that I could be answered. Yes, the baby powder. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Johnson & Johnson's baby powder. Absolutely. Sunscreen, sunscreen, is it even a thing? No, you're not supposed to be Black people don't need sunscreen. Please don't buy into that nonsense hype. We have the ability to absorb and to deal with all spectrums of light and radiation. We have that ability. There are only those people who don't have that ability. And as the sun currently is getting hotter and hotter, because it is, they are going to burn to a crisp. We won't. We'll just get darker because we have melanin. So we'll just produce more melanin to deal with the incoming radiation and rays, UVA, UVB, infrared, all those. We can deal with that whole spectrum just fine. Actually, when you put sunscreen, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because now you're not, when you put sunscreen, you're not going to be able to get the rays to stimulate melanin production. The less melanin you produce, the less ability you have to connect with the cosmos, which is ultimately, as spirit beings having a human experience, that is what we want. We don't want that connection cut off. And quite frankly, all of these chemicals and things they're putting in our food and GMOs is to stop that connection. Fluoride in toothpaste. Why would they put fluoride in toothpaste? They say it's good for the teeth enamel, but then they say in excess is going to cause discoloration of the teeth. That's just one minor thing. But the other thing about fluoride is calcifies the pineal gland. It damages the pineal gland. That's why over here they put it in water. Keep everybody asleep. Everybody asleep. Your pineal gland is calcified, your third eye is not open. Therefore, you stay in this 3D. They can do whatever. You're not able to see what they're doing. You're not able to dream really vividly. You're not able to foresee you're not able to download information that is critical. What is our solution to this since we're exposed to fake products only? There is a solution, which is literally start getting active about looking for products that are not fake. That's why I said, that's why I got into this. So you start there, small things. At GK, we also have fluoride-free toothpaste. I made that. It's there, right? So you start where you can. I've been talking over and over about people start growing your own food. Start creating seed banks with each other and sharing seeds, because very soon the GMOs will have taken over all natural organic seed. And the one thing we know about these things is that they are artificial. It's genetically modified. Therefore, it's removed from nature. It looks like nature. It might even taste like nature, but it's not. It's been manipulated. But we don't do well with things that aren't close to nature. Yeah. Where to buy this? What is the website? No, you're going to have to contact me because we don't have them on the site yet. So if you send me a message on that number that I gave you, a WhatsApp message, I'll be able to ensure that you get your order out to you. By the way, I hope people who got the parasite cleanse, you all got your stuff. I'm yet to, I think I've put the food lists here for those who are doing the parasite cleanse, who got their product. So just follow that, and I've given the instructions. The instructions are that first thing in the morning before you take anything else, you take all your supplements as prescribed on the bottles. It's all written there. Then you take a cupful or half a cupful of raw sunflower seeds and you eat those. You will feel some cramping, but that's a good thing, because what it's trying to do is to get your gut lining to push those worms out of it. So yeah, anyway, that's an aside. So sad because a lot of farmers back home are planting hybrid crops. Yeah, well, those farmers who are planting hybrid crops, unfortunately, they will only have maybe 4 or 5 cycles of seeds from that crop, after which there is like a fail-safe switch in those seeds. They are no longer able to produce fruit. That is it. And it was designed that way. It's called a genetic restriction code that is put in there, which will now prevent, after a certain time, these seeds from reproducing themselves, so that even if you have a plant and it produces seeds, when you plant them, they won't grow. Or if they grow, they're not going to perpetuate seed. So now you're constantly buying seed from foreign companies outside. And so it's a sort of, it's almost like a seed enslavement. So, and not only that, GMOs destroy the soil. They destroy the microbiome of the soil. So that by the 5 years, after 5 years of that GMO crop being rotated in a certain soil, you can kiss that field goodbye. Somebody tried to, sorry guys, can you guys hear me? Just wave a hand if you can hear me. Sorry, somebody tried to call. So now, can you guys hear me? Let me know. Let me know. Oh, excellent. There we go. Yeah. So now your soil is destroyed. Not only can you not grow food on that soil, but now you have to go and get food elsewhere. Now, I hope this doesn't get shut down, but one of the things I shared, and I always share on Twitter mostly because Twitter has less censorship than here. One of the things that is happening right now with the West is they want to keep Africa in starvation. It's a funny thing, but that is the aim. That's why all the GMOs, so that you're constantly buying seed from them. And eventually you're going to have to get food from them. And then they can use food, they can dangle food the way they do aid, right? To say, if you don't do X, then you're not going to get food. Always, always. It's about power, control, and profits. for umlungu. And yeah, they have no respect for Earth. They don't have it because genetically they are creeps. They don't have that connection. Caucasus Mountains. So bantu kahle kahle. That's why we can't call them abantu. They don't have it. And we can't expect Ubuntu from them either. It doesn't exist. Okay, gut health has really been good. Not only parasite cleanse, it's starting in Tolwane every morning. Yeah, excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That's good to hear. So guys, is there anything else? I mean, we can talk about the hair thing, but I think you get the gist. No? I don't need to do a separate live about... Well, I can do a live about hair and the texture of our hair and why that's important, right? As opposed to hair relaxers and stuff. Gogo, I stopped eating meat 2 years ago and now I've been eating veg and seafood. It was my personal decision. Would I be affected by any, since I thought I was getting secondary nutrients from meat, unlike from fruits and vegetables, which are primary nutrients. Would you be affected by what, though? Understand. I don't know what you're asking. What would you be affected by? Maybe if you tell me, then I can answer your question. So, while we wait to answer that question, any other questions that may come up? Gut health is especially water, food. Yep. Disconnect. Yes. Sunscreen, even a thing. Answered that. Yes. Baby. Yep. Okay. Yeah, so you're asking, what would you be affected by? You're saying, I stopped eating meat for years and I've been eating veg and seafood. It was a personal decision. Would I be affected in any way since I thought I was getting secondary nutrients from meat? So what would you be affected by is what I'm asking. Are you asking whether you're not eating meat would affect you? I really don't understand this question. Islung is not my... Coco, what are the best foods to increase potassium intake? I'd have to look those up. Oh, bananas. There you go. Bananas are very high in potassium. What are... Mom's low in potassium. Mama, what are best foods for potassium increase? What are best foods for potassium increase? Bananas. What else? Mommy, seriously. So anyway, she says bananas, but I know kale is one of them. Morojo, like just collard greens, if you get collard greens. Another. Spinach is another. Yeah, it's all coming back now. The other thing is moringa. Moringa is a superfood. It's super rich in minerals. It is super rich in fact, it's a superfood. Moringa is just moringa. I love moringa. So if you can get some moringa, I'm going to have some moringa when I come to South Africa in a few weeks. So if you can get some moringa, yes, that is the holy grail of all things good. Why so some creams make you lighter even if they say not bleaching? E.g. Vaseline, even tone. Anything that says even tone equals bleaching. How are you going to achieve even tone? Okay, look, I have a blemish here, right? I've got some blemishes here. To even out with this tone, I'm going to have to bleach this. I'm toning my skin. No, you're not. You're bleaching. It's a nicer way. You see, they realized that, oh, okay, the anti-bleach brigade was out in full force. Yeah. So they decided to use mild words like, we're toning. Bleach has a C because see these black blemishes here. If I want them to go quickly, you so far bleach, and it comes in the name of toning. I'm toning. You know, some people are toning until they're like lily white and they're still toning. Who do you think you're fooling? Now, shea butter, one of the things of shea butter, it helps with discolorations. So if you have or are prone like me to blemishes, it's your answer. Shea butter. That's only. Vele siyahlupheka Modeline, we're in trouble. I'm asking in a way that if I don't eat, I would be affected insufficient proteins or other nutrients. Well, you feel out your body. People are different. Okay, now I understand. You're not eating meat. If you make sure you're getting adequate protein from various plant sources of protein, you should be just fine. There are people who've lived their entire lives just eating vegetables and fruit, okay? As long as you make sure that you are conscious of the protein content of the vegetables and the fruits that you are consuming. Yeah, you should be fine. The one thing I would be careful on is probably iron. But if you're big on the leafy green vegetables like kale, morojo, okra, those dark green vegetables, they're very high in iron. So if you're good with those, you should be fine. In terms of fruit, I'm trying to think of what's high in iron. I can't think of one. But yeah, you should be perfectly fine. The key to going vegetarian or vegan or whatever is to really make sure that you're conscious of what you're consuming. Because a lot of people will go vegan or vegetarian and they just end up piling up on carbs because they're always hungry because of low protein. So you still end up actually doing yourself more harm by not eating animal products and choosing to eat vegetables and fruit, but all you're doing is really eating a bunch of carbohydrates. Yeah. Some creams. Okay, we've answered that. Anything else? Any other questions, guys? If not, I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to leave. Any other questions? Viola, I hope I answered your question. But if not, you know what? Maybe what I'll do is send me a reminder and I'll put up a list of foods. This is so easy to do. You just go and find a list of foods that are high in potassium and I'll post that for you. Let's see. Is it good to take skin supplements? By skin supplements, what are you talking about, Modeline? Things like collagen for elasticity. Collagen for elasticity. Is that what you're talking about? What else? I don't know. The jury is out on that. Personally, I won't take collagen, although I'm in my 50s and, you know, maybe it might be a good idea. But that's my problem. You know, collagen is something that's supposed to be produced naturally in the body. So I try to eat collagen-supportive foods, right? Just being aware that the food I'm eating has collagen-supporting foods or foods that get broken down in order to build up collagen in my body. But this external collagen, you know, powder is not make sure. This is Beautiful Life. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You're so welcome, Tam Tam. Gogo, do you have millet or sorghum? Yes, it's there. It's there as Godwin in Soweto. So just send me a message on my number, 734. Someone type it out so it's in the comments. 734. So it's +1 734 274 0664. No, I'm 50, Nana. I'm an old woman. My daughters are probably your age. I'm 50. I turned 51 in June, actually. So usually by this time of the year, I'm telling everybody I'm 51. I like getting old. I like getting older, put it that way. So celebrities are busy with these drips for glowing skin. What is it called? So, okay. So those drips are, usually it's a vitamin C drip. You can get your vitamin C from oranges and from nachis and. So it's vitamin C drips. A lot of them are using a drip to speed up and to keep even the bleaching. So many of the celebrities are not just putting creams because you do know You do know that with the bleaching, there are certain parts of the body that are very, very stubborn to the bleaches. So to avoid the monkey hands white body, you will go into a drip. The sad thing about the drips, okay, so here's what the cream does, right? These toning creams. What they do is they destroy the melanin that's already in the skin. What the drips do and the pills, because they're also pills people are taking, is it literally stops the production of melanin at its source. Yo, guys, since this is a new thing in the world of beauty and cosmetics, we don't even know the far-reaching ramifications. But I could list to you right here and now the problems with that. Because melanin is just not about darkening your skin. Melanin has many, many different functions in our bodies. So when you stop the production of melanin at the site of production, I mean, you will become like white people in all true senses, not just your skin, but everything else. Because part of the reason they are the way they are is because they are not 9 ether beings. They do not make melanin. It's called melanin, this powerful black stuff. So now if you're not making it, you are white in many ways, not just your skin. But we may, who knows, may start to see certain behaviors that are very white. Why? Oh, anyway, never mind. This is not about that. Let's move. I was about to say something. That somebody was probably going to get mad at me. It explains why some people, you can see their veins. Yeah. Because you're destroying your epidermis. And so in the end, you've seen them, the Niger ladies. See the Niger ladies now on the chest here, you see like these deep blue veins. People are brave out there. All for what? So that you can look like a popo. That's what they call it. You guys say yellow bone. They say, oh, she they popo. She they look like popo. She they have popo skin. You look like popo. Would that mean, yeah, why would you even want that? They're going to become dark white. Oh, you guys are hilarious. Yeah, but you know, it's reversing nature and destroying nature and manipulating nature and dominating nature is a white thing. So vele wena, once it's in your mind that you're going to do this, know that in all ways, because those are the only people who really conceptualize to create things that go against nature. Tina, we were never like that. We understood and respected nature out there in the environment, nature as ourselves, and understood that there was a very, very close link between us, ourselves, and nature. We understood that the same way that we have an electromagnetic field and a frequency at which we vibrate, everything that is manifest in the physical on this planet has the same. And that our connection to source, our connection to the cosmos and nature and the cosmic bodies and their alignments relies on our melanin and us being able, because that whole thing out there is made of melanin. So, yeah, in short, that is that. Stop tampering with nature. Stop. You are fearfully and wonderfully made the way you are. I don't, you know. But I always say, again, white people are very clever in a cunning, devious sort of way. You create the problem. That's them, right? So they created the problem. What was the problem? The problem they made our dark skin was the problem. Then you say, oh, well, how can we capitalize on this problem that we have created. We will sell them a solution. Ah, yes, let's create chemicals. Some of these bleaching things have mercury, they have mercury, hydroquinone, they have all sorts of things. Let us create things that they will use. The whole population of them, billions of them. And they want to be like us. And because we've created this problem, that their skin is their problem. So now they will buy this from us. We get to make money. And then they will bleach and bleach. And then when they get sick, they're going to need medications and hospitals. So we get to make more money. And if they die, oh well. At least we'll have made some money off of them before they kick the bucket. Mlungu is insidious like that. Same with the hair thing. Let's create a problem. Oh, your hair is so unprofessional. Oh, your hair. You can't come to work like this. We're not going to hire people who look with hair like this. So what do? They've created the problem. Let us provide the solution. And let's just cook up something with this ammonia and this to make that thing called LYE. That stuff, that's what is causing problems. That's that stuff that burns your scalp. Anyone ever had a relaxer? And after a while sitting, you're like, yeah, it's burning now. It's time to wash. You determine the time to remove this poison off your scalp by how much it is burning you. By that time, it's already gone to where it needs to go to, right? So then they provide you that solution, which they make money off of, because you will all fill the places buying relaxer. You're all sitting in mom so-and-so's yard, putting this white toxins in your hair. You will get sick, and then it's okay because you will use their hospitals and their medications. They make more money. And then you kick the bucket and it's like, shame. They left children and others behind who will come in and still provide us with our money. That is why there's only one way to hit them in the pocket. And the way to do that is to divest from everything that they've ever created, saying it's for us, because we know there's nothing good that they can ever produce for our benefit. Never. They'd rather kill off some of their own in the process of killing us. That's how, ruthless. So... yeah, you cycle. Yes, it's evil, pure evil. That's what it is. All right, guys. Again, like I say, if I don't have any more questions, my blood group rejects a lot of food. I'm B+. So eat for your blood group. You know the blood group diet, right? If you don't, just message me and I'll get it to you. You can eat to your blood group. And that usually takes away a lot of the guesswork. And the products we're using as aftershaves in our beards, it's a bad... Dermatol, but after enlightenment, because consists petroleum, mineral, lanolin, shea butter, peppermint oil, sulfur. There's your toxin right there. Sulfur. Yeah, petroleum. Lanolin, 40. Peppermint oil, that's fine. Dermatol concentrate. You need dermatol. See, they're coming up with new names and new chemicals all the time. I'll look up that and see what that is. Peppermint oil is good, and peppermint oil is also an antibacterial. So if it's an aftershave, what it does is it'll prevent bacteria from growing in those cuts and abrasions. Sometimes, your skin has cuts and abrasions you don't feel or see. So... That's another reason also it's good to cream your skin, right? Because when your skin gets dry, you notice how sometimes it gets dry and tight? It can have what are called micro abrasions. You don't see and feel them, but they're like tiny, tiny microscopic cuts that again can lend themselves to bacteria entering and so on and so forth. I think that's it, guys. All right. Well, it's been fun being here with you guys. Stay away from the toner, Modelini. The toner is not a toner. I loved this. Thank you so much. See you guys next time.